Yes, thanks, Zainab, and I agree with Arnold and Hesman actually that nobody should actually be executed, outside of the prescriptions of the law. And I also want to agree again that this is something that has happened for very many years in this country. All the way from we heard of the Mungikis being cleared. Of course, the Willy Kimandas have been suggested here, and this has continued. Kenya, we heard of all ICC witnesses being cleared. We have no clue what happened to them. The bodies that are being talked about in Rivayala and in Ngong forests and so on. And I think there is something that has been going wrong, particularly with these specialized units within the criminal investigation department. And that's not their role. I mean, whatever they're doing is illegal. The media has shouted about that. The human rights lawyers have spoken loudly about this, but nothing much has ever been done. Again, I would like to echo what Arnold has just suggested there, that we've got thousands of Kenyans who've disappeared, and whom we know will never really get to know the real story behind it. Because, as Edmond says, you are still relying on the same agencies to give you information about the disappearance of this. And symbolically, it is sad that it is the disappearance of 2 foreign nationals that then forces the president to act. But again, the question is, what is the extent of the rot within the system?
Right.
And does disbanding this one system, one unit, solve the problem as it actually were? I think there would be a need to really audit these agencies and clean them so that one can actually know that should they do anything, even criminal in this country, that they would be subjected to the rule of law.
And even with that, we have Amnesty International saying even with this particular move, we must audit that particular unit, the SSU, activities, and publicly respond to the allegations of responsibility for enforced disappearances for extrajudicial killings. This is what Amnesty posted on their Twitter handle as well.
Exactly, and that's what we're saying, that because, I mean, disbanding it doesn't solve the problem at all. Because,
so we must get to the root of the matter.
We have to get to the root of the problem. And as Desmond has said, these guys are going to be redistributed within the system, and they'll continue perpetrating the same crimes that they've done over the past.
Yes, Arnold.
I think even as we look at DCI, we must not condemn DCI in isolation of the enablers that made this particular scenario and unit among the others. It's not the only unit that is actually accused of getting into extrajudicial shows. First of all, Parliament made this possible in 2014 when they supported the security amendment laws that actually enforced a lot of opaqueness, killing the sunshine clauses in the Constitution. It is Parliament that made this possible. We should never run away from actually pointing out that. Otherwise, DCI was not able to actually do whatever they have done. And what we've actually gotten to this particular point to talk about, if there were no laws that will cover this. So the security amendment laws in 2014, we didn't get here just suddenly, because the Constitution 2010 had effectively worked out to ensure that we reduce this particular path. Then Parliament sits in 2014, in the guise of fighting security and covering up so much, we then pass these laws that get here, and we give a small unit the power of the judge, the jury, and the executioner. So we must not just look at DCI as an independent, or rather as a unit that should be condemned alone. Parliament enabled that. There was the executive that ensured that there was money.
It's a systemic issue.
It is a systemic issue, and we cannot therefore then just look at DCI alone. Even Parliament must answer questions.
All right.
We can't run away from that.
All right.